All right, let's do it. Welcome into Philadelphia Eagles Now, live here on Chat Sports. Hope all of you out there are having a fantastic Thursday. I'm Chase Sr. Alongside me is producer Trizzy Trace. The Pocket Aces are once again here, bringing you the latest Philadelphia Eagles news and rumors. Want to start off with this. We're coming to you from enemy territory, as we always are here at the Chat Sports Studios in Dallas, Texas. That's where we're emanating live. But where are you? No, it's all good. I'm from the Philadelphia area. We're here in Dallas now, where the Cowboys still have not made it to an NFC Championship game in 28 years. So where is the Bird Gang hanging out? Let me know in the chat. We'll start to give you some shout-outs here, and in a little while, we'll start the official show. And there's a lot to talk about here, even though we're in the doldrums of the NFL offseason here at the start of July. Christopher Lugo, Austin, Texas. I'm actually going there tomorrow night, staying a couple of days, and really looking forward to it. Jonathan Gibbs, Temple alumni, living in Austin as well. How about that? Yeah, I'll be down in Austin, Texas, starting tomorrow night. Captain Delberto in my room smoking cookies and cream. Gotta love it. Hope that bong is treating you well. We have Mason Carguy in Connecticut, Tommy Velasquez in Florida, Elijah tuned in from Tennessee. Xavier, York, Pennsylvania. That's where he's hanging out from. No matter where you are, how you're tuned in, as always, we appreciate you for rocking and rolling with us. On today's show, we're going to talk about how the NFL blamed the Philadelphia Eagles for struggling to adapt to the joke that was the NFL grass in the Super Bowl in Glendale, Arizona. Type F Roger in the chat. You kidding me? CJ Gardner-Johnson took to Twitter, and this is a guy who left the Eagles this offseason, went to the Detroit Lions, felt disrespected by the Birds, but was still defending the Eagles and saying in pregame, I went through multiple cleats. The grass was fraudulent. The grass was a joke. And the NFL, according to Mike Florio, Pro Football Talk, had the gusto to say that the Eagles are to blame for that. You kidding me? Lord typing F Roger, Elijah typing F Roger, Xavier F Roger as well, Uzziah Israel F Roger, F Roger Goodell. Even though it's probably nothing to do with Roger Goodell, I still want to type F Roger Goodell in the comment section right now. If you want to get featured on the show today, a couple of ways for you to get involved. Just use the hashtag Eagles. Better yet, Super Chat if you want to send us in a Super Chat donation. That is hashtag Eagles or a Super Chat to get featured here on the show. We also have a great Super Chat menu that we want to show you. And, of course, Trizzy Trace is hanging out here with us. $5 Super Chat, that equals a beer cheers. $10 will get the Eagles chant going. $20, Trace takes some shots. $50 for a beer bong. $100 for a shotgun. Trizzy, how you doing today?
Doing well, man. I'm doing even better because we got Smitty, not Devontae. We got Smitty in the stew. New guy Smitty.
New guy Smitty.
Wants to help Devontae. He wants to party. He wants a beer bong. He wants to hit a shotgun. I don't think he knows he wants to, but he wants one. So
beer bong for a 50?
I'm in.
All right.
New guy Smitty said he's in.
If somebody sends in a $50 super chat, the new guy who just started yesterday, he's down to do a beer bong. So also, we can show him what Eagles fans are all about here.
Just get Smitty in the chat. For our new guy Smitty or for Devontae Smith. Either way, get the Smitties in the chat because
it's fun. Chat right now. Type in Smitty. Everybody type Smitty in the chat. Make the new guy drink. $50 super chat. New cat, or the new bull, as we would say in Philadelphia, has to do the beer bong. Rob Townsend typing in that Smitty. Continue to get that popping right now in the comment section. If you're ready to start the show, make sure you hit that thumbs up icon. Like the video. We have people rocking and rolling with us from all across the globe, every pocket of America, and all across the world as well. Tommy Velasquez, welcome to the Bird Gang. Xavier, Smitty. We have Rob typing Smitty as well. You love to see it. About 50 people watching live, 15 likes right now. That audience will continue to grow all throughout the day as well. And if you're new to the show, make sure you subscribe to the program right now for year-round Eagles coverage. A lot to get to on the docket for today's Eagles Now Live. We're going to start with the NFL just being disrespectful toward Philadelphia here. How? I'll explain it here in a little bit. What'd you say? Tanner Plummer. Chase, give me a real one. Real one roll call. That's for our boy Tanner right there, because everybody who's watching right now is a certified real one. Lore, what show are we looking forward to? We're going to talk about how the NFL screwed the Eagles. We're going to talk about the Eagles' secret plans for DeAndre Swift, Quez Watkins' payday, and a former NFL general manager listing some concerns for the Eagles heading into 2023 and why they might be worse this upcoming season than they were last year when they did make it to the Super Bowl. Speaking of the Super Bowl, let's talk about it here. Eagles Now Live officially starts right now. All right, let's do it. Welcome into Philadelphia Eagles Now. I'm Chase Senior. No matter where you are, how you're tuned in, we appreciate you for making today's show a part of your day. And I haven't had the opportunity to address this yet because I've been so busy covering the NBA as I help lead our coverage here under the Chat Sports umbrella. I wanted to talk about this absolutely asinine and ridiculous report from Mike Florio of Pro Football Talk with the NFL blaming the Eagles for struggling to adapt to the poor field conditions in Super Bowl 57 in Glendale, Arizona. I'm fired up. I hope all of you are fired up as well. Here is that report from Pro Football Talk. To their credit, the Eagles don't use it as an excuse for losing. And let me say that, right? The Eagles deserve credit for not using the poor field conditions, for not registering a single sack on Patrick Mahomes and not using it as a reason for why they lost the game. There are other reasons, right? The scoop and score fumble for Jalen Hurts where Nicholas Bolton picked the rock up, able to take it back. Jonathan Gannon failed to make adjustments. The Eagles lost this game for reasons outside of the poor field conditions, but the bad field conditions directly impacted what the Eagles do well. And what was that last year? Rushing the passer, getting after the quarterback, and pressuring some of the top quarterbacks in the NFL. They had 70 sacks last year, 15 more than any team in the NFL, the most since the 1985 Bears. So let me get that off my chest, and then we continue here with Mike Florio. Then again, he said, they don't need to. Those who understand how a slippery field impacts football players realize that, given the strengths and weaknesses of the two teams, the situation hurt the Eagles more than it hurt the Chiefs. Most recently, Eagles defensive end Brandon Graham said simply that the Chiefs' offensive line was, quote, blessed by the field conditions. The NFL has an unofficial excuse for the situation, one that has been communicated when owners ask about it. Per a league source, the league blames the players for not wearing the right shoes. The Eagles changed their cleats, and it didn't seem to matter. That's pretty brave of the NFL to say that, if true. And a lot of teams across the league are peppering the NFL. What happened in the Super Bowl? Are we going to have these problems moving forward? Can I also say that the guy who's in charge of managing the Super Bowl grass, that was his last Super Bowl, and he's a Kansas City Chiefs fan? This is absolutely ridiculous. The Super Bowl turf was also a brand new grass surface that they experimented with. They hadn't even played on that before. That type of surface was brand new. Why are you going with an experimental surface for the biggest game on the NFL calendar when people across the world are going to be watching this game? Man, I can't believe it. More from Pro Football Talk here. Setting aside the fact that there should have been no reason for the teams to anticipate needing different types and sizes of cleats for a game that supposedly will be played under pristine conditions, the manner in which the field was torn up during the game shows that, regardless of whether the teams were able to properly adjust, the field never, ever should have been in that condition. It was an absolute crime that the field conditions were that subpar. Right from the jump, you saw players on both sides slipping all over the place. And obviously, I'm coming at you from the Eagles' perspective here. They had an opportunity to win their second Lombardi trophy. And if they did, that would be their second championship since 2017, with the first one coming against Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, and the second one coming against Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. What an opportunity that would have been to be able to put that in the history books of taking down two of the top quarterback head coaching combinations in the history of the NFL. When you watch a game of this magnitude and when you watch a game of this caliber, you want to see both heavyweights at the peak of their powers, playing their best without them slipping on the field. So I want to see the Chiefs on a good surface. I want to see the Eagles on a good surface. But the Eagles clearly got impacted more here because they're trying to stop Patrick Mahomes, who is an alien at that quarterback position. So for the NFL here, to blame the Eagles for the grass in the Super Bowl, type F Roger down in the chat right now. Roger Goodell, I can't believe that this might be true from the NFL, that you have the bravery to address this issue in such a manner like this. CJ Gardner-Johnson went on a tweet storm a couple of days ago, and as we know, throughout this offseason, he's been fired up about how the Eagles treated him throughout free agency, even though they offered him a multi-year deal. CJ Gardner-Johnson and his camp didn't like that deal. Even though it was worth a lot of money, CD Deuce thought he was going to get more cash. The Eagles then said, look, we have to pivot elsewhere to pay Darius Slay and James Bradbury. If you don't take this deal, we're going to move on. CJ Gardner-Johnson then said he felt disrespected by Philadelphia during that period. He still, even though he's a little bit clearly bitter against this organization, was defending the Eagles here. He said, man, pregame, I went through 3 different cleats. Even the studs weren't working. Explain that, please. So the NFL said the Eagles could have changed their cleats. They did change their cleats, and it still did not matter. And then CD Deuce with this as well. If that's the case, we should have played on Arizona's original grass. We were fine the week that we traveled there and won. And if you remember, that came earlier in the year when Cameron Dicker the kicker, stepped in for Jake Elliott and had that game-winning field goal against the Cardinals, and I didn't see the Eagles pass rush struggling in that game. I didn't see any players struggling to find their footing in that matchup. And then CJ Gardner-Johnson says this, which actually kind of makes me sad a little bit. I haven't been able to go back and watch the highlights or watch the tape because I'm still bitter about how the Eagles lost that game, but CJ Gardner-Johnson said, run that ball back on legit grass. The defensive line smashes that offensive line. I'm sorry. Eagles pass rush got completely neutralized. Hassan Reddick had 19.5 sacks combined in the regular season and in the playoffs. The Eagles, again, had 70 sacks, 15 more than the next best team. You know who that next best team was? It was the Kansas City Chiefs. So the Eagles, when they tried to set the edge, when they tried to get around the edge, what happened? They ate shit, they ate grass, and they fell. And because of that, Patrick Mahomes was able to carve them up in that second half, where his only incompletion was on a ball in which he threw the rock out of bounds. Now, did Jonathan Gannon struggle to make adjustments? For sure. I think he's a fraud. I think he's going to be a bad coach for the Arizona Cardinals. But still, you get that pass rush growing. And even if you just generate some pressure on Patrick Mahomes, that game might be a little bit different because he was injured with that bum ankle, if you forget. So win or lose, make sure you subscribe to the show. This is Philadelphia Eagles Now, year-round coverage on the EAGLES Eagles. Hit that sub button right now. Now, not only do we do segments like this, hit you with some news, rumors, analysis, breaking news, live shows, watch parties, we also have some great deals that we like to tell you about, thanks to our friends at Fanatics. And the Eagles going to be bringing back the retro Kelly Green jerseys this year. And that's a perfect opportunity for you to get your hands on this retro Eagles polo. It was $70, but if you use our link, chatsports.com/Eagles polo, you can get it 50% off, $35. We'll put that link in the comment section and in the description of this video. Now, I said going into the game, right, that the biggest key for the Eagles to win Super Bowl 57, and I talked about it all throughout the week as I was on Super Bowl Radio Row. Smitty was also there, right? I talked about it all week. Going into the game, the Eagles' pass rush, if it got negated, if they couldn't generate pressure on Patrick Mahomes, they were going to lose. That's what the game was going to come down to. And what did that game come down to? I believe the Eagles not being able to register a sack against Mahomes. And we're talking about stopping two of the best offensive minds right now, currently in the NFL. Mahomes can complete any throw on the football field. Any type of defense hasn't been able to stop him. Andy Reid oftentimes is in his play calling bag, where he gets so creative with some of the misdirection, some of the disguises, some of the pre-snap motion, some of the play designs, which frees these guys up for Mahomes to hit them in stride to light up that scoreboard. And the Eagles needed to play their best game defensively to stop Kansas City, and they needed to have their strengths on their side. And they weren't able to have their strengths on that side. And yes, Jonathan Gannon made no adjustments after recess, and that's when Andy Reid started to take some laps around him. But some sacks could have altered the game, and that really is the main point of why I'm pissed off. So are you still in pain about this Eagles Super Bowl 57 loss? It's one that will never escape me. Y for yes, N for no. Let us know. Don't forget to subscribe, and we appreciate all of your support of Eagles Now. All right, we'll give some shout-outs here. And Elijah with the $50 super chat. I saw that flash as I was doing the segment. We'll show that here. Elijah Stovall, 50, Smitty, LFG. So we'll do another segment or two, and then we'll bring on new guy Smitty, second day here at Chat Sports. He'll do his beer bong. And let's do this, Trace. If we get to 100, you and I will also join him. So if we get to $100, all shotgun, Trace will either do the Freedom Funnel, he'll drink as well, and then Smitty, he'll do his beer bong. So we'll do that if we get to 100. Trace and I will join Smitty. If not Smitty, he'll be on an island, and he'll take down the beer bong by himself. If you want to join the show, let's interact all throughout the day. Few ways for you to hop on board the program here. Use the hashtag Eagles, better yet, Super Chat to ask us anything. And if you want to send us in a tip, send us in a donation, like our Super Chat MVP, Elijah. $5, beer cheers. $10, EAGLES. $20, Trace shots. $50, we'll do that beer bong. Smitty will do it. $100 for a shotgun. And because Elijah was so kind, I'm going to crack a happy dad here to get the drinks flowing here on a Thirsty Thursday, because Philadelphia Eagles Now, it's always happy hour here on the show. Cool Rains, we're at 50 right now, so we're 50 away from 100. Whose message? Xavier, what did he say? Yes, we will do some live preseason watch party, Xavier, for sure. That's why you subscribe to the show, turn on those notices, because anytime we do go live, you will be notified. So coming up next here on the show, a former NFL general manager listed reasons to be concerned for the Eagles heading into 2023. Let's dive into that right now. Again, the Smitty Beer Bong will be coming up here in just a little while. This is Philadelphia Eagles Now. I am your host, Chase Sr. As always, thanks for your support of the show. Coming up on the program today, a former NFL general manager listed reasons to be concerned about the Eagles heading into 2023. Before we look at those concerns, though, make sure you subscribe to the show. Keep an eye on what's coming up here. Eagles training camp begins later this month, July 25th. Right after that is the preseason. We'll be doing watch parties for that. And then the regular season comes. And we'll be doing watch parties for the regular season games as well. And the return of some of our crazy live shows will certainly get underway, with content coming your way every single day. We're on the road to 50,000 subscribers as the largest independently run Eagles channel on YouTube, so hit that sub button right now. As for what we're talking about on the program today, reasons to be concerned about the Eagles heading into 2023, a year after they made it to the Super Bowl and suffered that heartbreaking loss to Kansas City. Now, Randy Mueller, former general manager in the NFL, listed some of these concerns, and we're going to break them down and dissect them by quote. Howie Roseman, the best general manager in the league right now, he began with saying, and I am surely not going to sit in my chair and say I have a ton of worries about this team. I know head coach Nick Sirianni and what makes him tick, they overlapped a few years ago. We had some deep conversations when we were both with the Chargers. He will find a way to keep the narrative fresh, and the team will be hungry to finish the job after coming up just short last year. And coming off a Super Bowl loss is really difficult to do. The two Super Bowls that the Eagles have made it to in my lifetime, lost in Super Bowl 39 to the New England Patriots that following year. It was kind of a disaster, especially with the whole Terrell Owens situation. And then when they won Super Bowl 52, you can remember that the following year, they had to be unconscious that last month of the season in the regular season in order to make it into the playoffs as Nick Foles rallied the guys. So you can't afford to start this season slow, especially given the construct of this schedule this year for Philadelphia. You have some winnable games in the first 5-6 weeks, then that middle portion of the schedule, as we've documented here, does get very difficult. And you don't want to have to be in a situation in which you're trying to play catch-up in the middle to latter portions of the campaign. So will the Eagles be better or worse than they were in 2022 here in 2023? This will be our pinned comment for today's show. So make sure you get your responses in. B for better or W for worse. And great job by Trace to cue this up, because here is that Eagles 2023 schedule. Winnable game on the road against the Patriots, even though, fittingly, they're going to honor the quarterback who the Eagles beat back in 2017 in Tom Brady. It's going to be raucous in Foxborough at Gillette Stadium, but you're the better team than New England. I understand that weird, wonky, wacky things happen in Week 1. For instance, the Eagles nearly lost to the Lions in Week 1 last year. Got to win that game. Kirk Cousins is a fraud. Have to beat Minnesota in Week 2 on Thursday Night Football. Then you go on the road. Going to be a little bit hot, which is sometimes a concern, but at this point in the Northeast, it's extremely humid, right? So I think the Eagles are going to be acclimated with some of that hot weather against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Monday Night Football. Baker Mayfield or Kyle Trask might be their starter. And then you get Sam Howell, Week 4. So I think the Eagles, barring any catastrophic injuries here, should be able to start off 4-0 this upcoming season. This is when it starts to get a little bit difficult. The Eagles are a better team than the Rams, but cross-country trips are never easy and sometimes daunting. Week 6, you go up I-95 north to take on Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. You have the high-powered Dolphins attack coming to Lincoln Financial Field in Week 7, and then Week 8 on the road against the Commanders. So here I'd say 3 of these 4 games are difficult. The one gimme, though, is the second go-around against Washington, divisional foe. Sometimes we've seen that these divisional games don't go as according to plan because they're difficult matchups because of the familiarity between the two teams. Week 9 against the Cowboys, let's be real. I hate the Cowboys. Type F Dallas if you're with me, but they have owned Philadelphia since Dak Prescott came into the league. Bye week comes at a fitting time, Week 10. Week 11 on the road against the Chiefs, Monday Night Football, Super Bowl rematch. Week 12, Josh Allen and the Bills come to town. Week 13, San Francisco comes back to South Philadelphia, rematch of the NFC Championship game. Is there a harder stretch of the schedule, and we can also look at that Cowboys game, Trace, than Chiefs, Bills, Niners, Cowboys in 4 consecutive weeks? Goes to show you the importance of starting off well this season. Then at the Seahawks is a difficult game because the Eagles always struggle in Seattle. Smitty knows. Week 16 against the Giants on Christmas. Week 17 against the Cardinals, then Week 18 against the Giants. And the Eagles did pull off the trifecta sweep against New York last year. But that's 2 times in 3 weeks that you're taking on the G-men, who figure to be vying for a spot in the NFL playoffs. More from former general manager Randy Mueller on some concerns for the Eagles. Losing both coordinators is a byproduct of the success the Eagles had in 2022 that does force others into roles that might take some adjusting that may lead to a less than ideal start as new people design and then call games for the first time. So here, I do believe that that's a viable concern. Pressure is going to be on Sean Desai, who has 1 year of defensive coordinator experience. That 1 year with Chicago, he did fare well. He's a Vic Fangio disciple. The fingerprints from Vic Fangio defenses are spread across all 32 teams at the NFL level. And Brian Johnson, I like him as an offensive mind, but he's going to be calling plays for the first time. He does have familiarity with Jalen Hurts, as Jalen Hurts' dad coached Brian Johnson when he was in high school. And Brian Johnson has done some really good work at the college level with Dak Prescott, with Kyle Trask, and with Jalen Hurts. He's overseen some of that development over the last couple of years. But new and inexperienced coordinators here for Philadelphia going to be thrust into some big roles. As for the Eagles' offensive line, the Eagles' offensive line is getting a little bit older. Jordan Mailata, Landon Dickerson, still young. Jason Kelsey, certainly older. And then you have Lane Johnson at right tackle, who's certainly seasoned and who's going to start at right guard. I think it's going to be Cam Jurgens, but the Eagles' offensive line, which was the best in the NFL last year, can they duplicate that success getting older and losing Isaac Seumalo? More on this to come, but first, how about this deal? Thanks to our friends at Fanatics, this Eagles Fresh Retro Polo was $70. It is now on sale for just $35. But that deal only applies if you use that link down below, chatsports.com/Eagles Polo, and make sure you use that link so that Fanatics knows that Chat Sports and Eagles now sent you. Here's more from Randy Mueller here as we continue to comb through his evaluation of this football team. The only thing on offense that is of some concern is the number of sacks, 44, 11th most in the league, the Eagles took last year. Quarterback Jalen Hurts still developing when it comes to processing and reading coverage. The simplistic passing game approach may have a short shelf life versus really good NFL defensive coordinators. The more they see it, so the Eagles must keep expanding the medium to downfield portion of this pass scheme. And I think that is the next progression for Jalen Hurts here. He has to be able to show and display that he can make throws all across the football field, that he can dissect what defenses are going to throw to him and adjust to that. And the Eagles giving up the 11th most sacks, you're like, well, what, Chase? You just said that the Eagles had the best offensive line in football. A lot of that is because Hurts is a mobile quarterback. He's trying to extend plays, and you can only hold up in your pass protection for so long. And for Hurts last year, this is a big reason why he finished runner-up in NFL MVP voting. And I think what's so impressive is that he threw the ball 460 times, and then he ran the ball 165 times, yet he only turned it over 6 interceptions and 2 fumbles lost. That's crazy with how often he had his hands on the football. He completed nearly 67% of his passes, 3,700 yards, touchdown interception ratio through the air of 22-6, 13 more tutties on the ground. And I just want to see continued growth, continued development here from Jalen Hurts. And I think he's going to be able to do that because of the weapons that are around him. I still like the Eagles' offensive line. Jason Kelce continues to age at a very good rate, but the weapons are also very good. You have A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, respectively, who had record-breaking seasons last year. Can Quez Watkins be that home run threat? And then Dallas Goedert is one of the best tight ends in the NFL. Yards per target leaders the last 2 years, Dallas Goedert actually leads all players in the NFL, surprisingly. A lot of you don't realize that because he's used so often as a guy who needs to block, but he's a very good pass catcher. I think behind George Kittle, second best all-around tight end in the NFL. And for him to be in this category here, yards per target leaders with Kendrick Bourne, Tyler Lockett, Justin Jefferson, T. Higgins, that's elite category right there. More from Mueller. Adjusting new people to their roles and making sure none get full of themselves should probably be the primary concern for this group. That's about as good as it gets in a league where most teams operate with their hair on fire at all times. I also want to add this and bring this to the forefront too. The Eagles had some pretty good injury history last year. Can they duplicate and replicate that injury history and Eagles injury luck? Because if you do get some injury misfortune, that is something that can curtail and really ruin some of the plans that you had. And it's very difficult to go back-to-back in making deep runs in the NFL playoffs. And the Eagles are going to look to embark on that. And really, can they become the first team since 2004 to be a repeat winner in the NFC East? It's been a weird and wild division for a really long time. I think Philadelphia, by far and away, better than Dallas, but they do need some of that injury luck on their side. So how many games will the Eagles win in 2023? As always, share your thoughts with us. Bird Gang, what up? We appreciate you. All right, good segment there. Just looking ahead to the 2023 season. We have Dennis Designs, Tommy Velasquez typing F Dallas. D. Aldridge is in the house typing Fly Eagles Fly. Ryan Rowe, Fly Eagles Fly. A lot of the real ones are starting to hang out with us here. Dennis Designs is also here. How many games will the Eagles win in 2023? Nick Stone, 13. Cool Reigns with a record prediction, 13-4. Dennis Designs, running backs get hurt. Good thing is the Eagles have a lot of them this year. Brandon Ford said 15-2. Maximus Jennings, 14. Xavier, 17-0. Ryan Rowe, 13-4, and then Tino typing F Dallas as well. That's the movement that all of us can agree on. So if you want to join the show, hashtag Eagles or Super Chat, you can literally ask us anything. Here is our Super Chat menu. We already got a $50 Super Chat. So let's go after this segment. New guy Smitty, second day on the job. He will do his beer bong. If we get to $100 in Super Chats, myself and Trace will also do a shotgun and a freedom funnel if we get to $100 by the time that this segment is over. So let's say in the next 10 to 15 minutes, if everybody piles together to send in some Super Chats, we can do that. And then on the other side, we can do a little Eagles Now happy hour if you want us to hang out here. So as for what we're getting to next, Quez Watkins getting a pay bump this upcoming season, all thanks to the NFL's collective bargaining agreement and some exciting news about DeAndre Swift. Let's get into it right here on Eagles Now. On the slate for today's Philadelphia Eagles Now, Quez Watkins, thanks to the new NFL collective bargaining agreement, is going to get a little bit of a pay bump here in 2023, and we have some exciting news about the Eagles' plans for DeAndre Swift. Is he about to have a career year, and is he about to break out thanks to the Eagles using him a lot throughout the aerial attack? First, though, if you want to interact with me on Twitter and Instagram, make sure you hit me up. I'm also on Threads, which is the new movement now. I like to be a leader, not a follower, but a lot of people are going over there, and if Twitter, I guess, blows up because Elon Musk is doing some weird things on the Twitterverse. So interact with me on these social media platforms. It's at Chase_Senior everywhere. Don't be a stranger. Slide in the DMs. Say what's up. I look forward to interacting with all of you. So let's begin here with Quez Watkins. This is what we know, that Quez Watkins is entering the final year of his rookie deal. And it's a big season for him. If he plays well, he's going to get paid because he's that home run threat who can get vertical with that high-end speed to take the top off of the defense. If he doesn't play well, he'll probably be on a fringe roster elsewhere in 2024. Thanks to an NFL collective bargaining agreement performance escalator, though, Quez Watkins is going to get a pay increase here this upcoming season. And the increase is going to go from $1 million, which isn't a lot after taxes, considering how much these athletes pay and invest into training, dieting, lifestyle, all that stuff. So $1 million to $2.7 million. This information thanks to Over the Cap. And here's the breakdown here. The NFL's collective bargaining agreement ensures proven performance escalators for players drafted between rounds 3 and 7 and signed to the typical 4-year rookie contracts. If those players can log snap counts of 35% or better in at least 2 of their first 3 seasons in the NFL, or play 35% or more of total snaps during those 3 years, they qualify for an increased base salary in their 4th year. Watkins is the only player to earn the increase according to Over the Cap, after he logged a snap count of 10.5% of the snaps as a rookie, almost 69% in year 2, and almost 58% in 2022, giving the pass catcher a 45.7% average for his career. Players eligible for the PPE will see their 4th-year base salary escalate to the season's lowest restricted free agent RFA tender. So for Quez, look, going into this year, you play well, you'll get a nice little bag because a lot of teams across the NFL are always in search of a wide receiver who can be elusive in the open field and be that guy who safeties have to account for on every single snap as a guy who can get past them if you hit him with that long ball. And in Quez's first 3 years, we've certainly seen some of the ability. I think with him, a lot of it comes down to consistency with Quez Watkins as a rookie. 7 catches, 106 yards, and a touchdown. In year 2, 43 catches, 647 yards, and a touchdown. And then this past year, the worst production outside of his rookie year, obviously, and a dip in production from year 2. Now, a lot of you might say, well, the Eagles traded for A.J. Brown. They had Dallas Goedert, Devontae Smith. You're expecting them to have more catches to take some of that usage away from Quez Watkins. Yes, but we can all agree that Quez Watkins was very disappointing in year 3. And when the Eagles tried to implement him into the game plan, I thought the Eagles offense actually got clunky and struggled a lot. And Quez was dropping a lot of easy footballs as well, including that big catch in the Super Bowl that he could have made and he dropped, which could have overturned the game and changed the momentum, leading to another Eagles score. So what will Quez do in 2023? Will he rise? Will he fold? Let me know. R or F. Get those into the comment section right now. How about this deal? Thanks to our friends at Fanatics, this Philadelphia Eagles retro polo was $70. It is now just $35. All you have to do is use that link down below, chatsports.com/Eagles polo. I don't know. This would look pretty fresh during a watch party, especially when you remember that the Eagles are going to be bringing back the Kelly Green jerseys this year. Let's round out the show with this. The Philadelphia Eagles' plans for DeAndre Swift. Philadelphia believes there is untapped potential with DeAndre Swift. Heading into 2023, I think DeAndre Swift is going to have a monster season, and I think the Philadelphia Eagles can unlock him so that he has a career year going into a contract year. He has so much ability, as evidenced by the numbers that he's put up in his first 3 years. Last year, he led all running backs in yards per touch, and he's a home run threat every time he touches the football. And this note from James Palmer of the NFL Network is pretty interesting. He's reporting that Philadelphia will utilize DeAndre Swift's receiving skill set even more than what the Detroit Lions did with him to start his career. And Swift is a very good dual threat back who is a better receiver than Miles Sanders. So I actually think the Eagles can upgrade at running back from the versatility, the production, given him and the Eagles' offensive line, but he's also a better pass catcher than Miles Sanders. First 3 years in the NFL, he's been used a lot as a receiving threat. 46 catches, 357 yards, and 2 touchdowns as a rookie. In his sophomore campaign, he reeled in 62 grabs for 452 yards and 2 touchdowns. And this past year, 48 catches for 389 yards and 3 touchdowns. So he can be a walking 1,000 combined all-purpose yards back, and that's without him being utilized all that much by Detroit. If you use him a lot this year, knowing that you might run him into the ground during a contract year, is he in play for 1,500 to 2,000 all-purpose yards in this offense when he's also going to be in the backfield with Jalen Hurts, and that 1-2 punch and running the football could be very difficult to defend? I am so excited to see what Swift can do with the Birds here in 2023. And I think that when you watch him, like Miles Sanders is capable of catching the ball out of the backfield. He's also going to be making $6 million. That is a lot more than the fraction of the price that Swift is going to be making. It just comes easier for Swift in catching the ball out of the backfield. Swing routes, bubble screens, him maybe lining up in the slot is something that I'd like to see. Wheel routes, one of the most underrated plays in football, I believe, because you get a very fast player out on the perimeter where sometimes he's getting guarded by slower linebackers. So I think Swift is a player to look out for here this season and could be one of the more underrated pickups throughout this offseason because of what you're paying him, because of what you gave up to get him, and how good this Eagles team is in utilizing the running backs as dual threat guys. So who's better? Some of you might not be familiar with Swift, even though he did go to St. Joe's Prep and is a Philly guy. His recruiting announcement video, by the way, when he recruited the Georgia Awesome, it was to Meek Mill. He was running throughout the streets of Philly. Go back and watch it. I think Bleacher Report put that together when Bleacher Report was actually good. MS for Miles Sanders, DS for DeAndre Swift. And as you venture down there, make sure you subscribe to the show because if you love the Eagles, we are the channel for you. Hit that sub button for year-round coverage of the Philadelphia Eagles. All right, I think my voice just cracked like I hit puberty there. Super Chat menu, $5. Beer Cheers, $10. EAGLES, haven't been able to do that yet. 20. Trace takes some shots, 50 for a beer bong. Smitty's going to do that here in a second. And then $100 for a shotgun. That right there is our Super Chat menu. Mike Dominguez said 50 catches for Quez Watkins. I like that. Dennis Designs said, don't forget to like the video. Dennis Designs, real one. Maximus, LaShawn McCoy. Yeah, I'm not comparing DeAndre Swift to LaShawn McCoy, who might be the best Eagles back in the history of this franchise. I think Brian Westbrook is somewhat slept on as a great player in franchise history. Dennis Design said, where's Smitty? Smitty, you ready? You got a beer? Yeah, there's one right here, or there's some beers. We got Happy Dads here and then beers in that fridge there. So whatever you want to do, whatever your preference is, new guy Smitty's going to come on, and he's going to do his beer bong. Now, he is a Seahawks fan, and oddly enough, the Seahawks have kind of owned the Eagles a little bit, especially with Russell Wilson, but we're happy to have him on board. He's already crushing it to start. Here he is. Went to St. Bonaventure. A lot of you know Nick Roloff, a.k.a. Rolly. He's produced the show a couple of times, and they actually went to school together. And what's hilarious about this story here, yeah, put this above that so then it doesn't come out. What's funny about Smitty is that so many of you watched our Eagles coverage from Super Bowl Radio Row. We were set up on Radio Row right by like 94 WIP. They were like over here. We were right here. And funny enough, right at this table, it was Smitty. And we didn't even know who he was, obviously, at the time because he didn't know that he was going to be applying for a job at Chat Sports. But small worlds collide here. We're happy to have him on board, as well as Jake Chipper, who is an Eagles fan. We have a fellow Philly guy in the office as well. How about this? Another 50, myself, Trace. We will drink. Then we'll get the Philly guy on here. He'll wear the Eagles foam head, and we'll get him drinking even more. So, Smitty, whenever you want. Let's get it.
Let's get it.
Let's go.
Go Birds.
Go Birds. You heard it. The Happy
Chug,
Dad
chug,
going down.
chug. Wow.
That's so easy.
It's easy.
Like
You're going to leave him hanging?
Don't leave me hanging. Like it ain't nothing. Smitty. What a guy. So another 50. We'll get the Philly guy here. He'll wear the Eagles foam head. We'll sing the Fly Eagles Fly song. We'll go EAGLES. I'll shotgun a beer and Trace. He will do his Freedom Funnel.
Man,
That's what we'll do for another 50.
I'm just real thirsty. It's
Yeah,
Thursday.
It's Thursday. It's Thirsty Thursday. You had a little bit of a southern twang there.
I don't know what you want me to do. I just want to start drinking some beers. Come on now.
Dennis Design shouting out your shirt. He said the U. The U. Maximus said attaboy. Ryan Rowe thinks DeAndre Swift is better than Miles Sanders. Do we have any hashtag Eagles questions that came in? We can just run through those real quick. Answer some questions from the homies. Tommy Velasquez, what's the situation with Keely Ringo? So, hasn't signed his deal. Landon Dickerson last year didn't sign until later in July, so it's not a massive concern. It is a little bit of a mystery, though. Dennis Designs! $50 super chat. We got to get Chipper. We got to get Chipper.
Chipper, 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 Chipper.
So he's an Eagles fan, and we're going to put his true Eagles fandom to the test.
Let's do it.
Does he know the Eagles fight song?
If he doesn't know it,
He has to know the
if
Eagles
he doesn't know the
fight
Eagles
song.
fight song, he's catching hands
Has
like
to
Rocky.
know it, right?
He's getting them Rocky hands like he's Apollo Creed.
Also, is our guy Romeo watching? Our guy Romeo, you guys know Romeo Talon. So during the NFL draft, he sent us in a $500 Venmo so that he could get a customized Eagles jersey. And this is his jersey here. So shout out to Romeo, one of the true real ones here on the show. If somebody sends in a $500 Venmo at Chase_Senior, we'll get your customized jersey here. And we'll put your name on it, and we'll get it featured on the show, and then we will send this to you as well. So, Trace, I don't know if you have my L3 Venmo, but if anybody wants to send in a $500 Venmo, we'll get whatever name you want on a jersey. We'll get it sent to us. We'll rock it for a little bit on the show, and then we'll send it to you. So, Romeo, he actually lives here in Texas. We're going to put on his jersey. Romeo, it's a little bit big for me, obviously. But Romeo, with the number 7, Talon. Let's get it. A real one of the show. We appreciate Romeo for supporting everything that we do. Dennis Designs, the $50 super chat. Let's run through some more questions, too. Jake Chipper, he'll be here in a little while. He's kind of a silent assassin in his first couple of days. We'll get him on the show, and we're going to test his Eagles fandom. He better know the Eagles fight song. If he doesn't, kind of a violation.
He's getting them Rocky hands like he's Apollo Creed.
Exactly. Passed. Just checking in, Chase. Keep up the great work. Real one, salute to you, Pass. Great to hear from you, as well as all the other real ones. We're just waiting on Chipper. Here's my Venmo here, at Chase_Senior. So if you want your own customized jersey, We'll get it sent here, customized, and then we'll send it to you as well. Comment section a little bit slow today. Everybody all right? Just in the doldrums of the offseason here, I guess. Lore, why did I understand? Why was there a holding call? I know. James Bradbury, holding call. It was technically a hold. I just don't think you call it in that spot. They let it fly all game. So Bradbury's thinking, they haven't called it all game. I can get away with it now. That cost the Eagles the Super Bowl right there. Where is everybody? Get the comment section going. If you're still watching, type me. Type me. Here's our Super Chat menu.
Dennis and Elijah are Super Chat MVPs.
Yes.
We could get a comment MVP, though.
We could get a comment or MVP.
So who wants to race the new guy Smitty in typing E in the comment section? Whoever types it
Cool Rains typing me
is going to be the comment MVP.
Yeah, who wants to be the commenter MVP?
Ready, set, go.
Cool Rains, Aussie. Oi, oi, oi. Cool Rains, it's funny, man. I was talking with Trace today, and we have a lot of Australians who watch all of our content here at Chat Sports. And I was like, how about this for a Super Chat idea? Drinking a beer out of a didgeridoo. You think that's a good idea, Cool Rains?
Cool Rains. We could call it a didgeridoo.
The only thing is they carve out the wood, so there could be some like wood shards in there, which would taste great, but you can't be scared. Cool Rain said, yes, I love that. Aussie.
Oi, oi, oi.
So we're waiting on Chipper here. Is he on Raiders there, Smitty? Is he? So here's what we can do in the meantime. Do we have another dad?
I got one right here.
Got an unopened dad? I'll do my shotgun here for Dennis Designs. Actually, it's a happy mom. Mothers are people too.
Kickers aren't, though. Wait, real quick. Trivia.
Oh, let's do it.
There have been 4 positions that have won NFL MVP. Quarterback, running back, defensive line. What's the 4th position?
That's a good question.
What's the 4th position?
Do you know the answer?
I do know the answer.
I know the answer.
I know the answer.
I heard it the other day.
I know the answer.
Yeah. So to summarize, 4 positions that have won an NFL MVP. Quarterback, running back, defensive line. That does include like outside linebackers like Hassan Reddick, who's a Sam backer / edge. What is the 4th? Cool Rain said wide receiver. It's not it.
Not it.
Jerry Rice never won an MVP. This answer will blow your mind. You should also bring up the name too, if you can. It'll blow your mind. Ryan Rowe, he's still watching. Tommy Velasquez typing those E's. Defensive end, Nyron. So we said, yes, defensive end is on there. Mike Dominguez said running back. No. Dennis Designs, left guard. No. Rob Townsend said punter. No. But along those lines, kicker from Rob. A kicker won an MVP. And we're not talking in the 50s. The 1980s.
82, Mark Mosley of the Washington Redskins, now the Commanders, obviously, won MVP.
How crazy is that? Insane.
First and only kicker.
Wild.
Now, wasn't there also a QB/kicker MVP way back, like the 40s, 50s?
Maybe.
George Blanda, a kicker back then?
He could have been like a hybrid back in the day, maybe.
Quarterback kicker, they didn't have enough guys.
Nyron Wallace said insane. Yeah, it's insane. Tommy Velasquez said linebacker. Yeah, as we said, a kicker won an MVP in 1982. You would never think. And again, like I think the craziest part of it, outside of it being a kicker, is the fact that it was in 1982. All right, here's a shotgun for Dennis Designs. Appreciate you, Brody.
Chug, 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 chug. He ripped it, he tipped it, and he sipped it.
We're waiting on Chipper. He might be crawling back to the crib at this point.
Chip.
How crazy is the Raiders report getting?
Jake Elliott has a chance to win MVP from Cool Rains.
Yeah, what if he wins MVP if he hits a game winner in like every game?
I mean, at that point, it's like, that's an argument.
Yeah.
And he does that, and then he also kicks like the longest field goal of the year or something.
All right, so we're waiting on Chip.
Holy Chip.
Holy Chip. Holy burp.
Holy chip.
Yeah, status check on the Raiders report. I want to see what's going on here. Wow, they've done $1,100 in donations today on a Madden simulation.
Unreal.
And I don't think I see Chipper on there. But he's probably had to take down some drinks on the camera. So we're waiting for him. So in the meantime, if anybody wants to send in a super chat, you can do that. Here's our super chat menu. We're down to do a little bit of an Eagles Now happy hour here. $5 beer cheers, $10 Eagles chant, $20. Trace will take some shots, $50 for a beer bong, $100 for a shotgun. Brett Maher should win the LVP award for missing 4 extra points in a row from Rob. It's fantastic. The Cowboys are absolute frauds, and so is he.
It was actually like 5 or 6 because it carried over from the game before as well. So he missed even more than just the 4 in the Bucs game. That was insane. Also, if you want to just ask us anything, Pocket Aces, we got all the answers. We got all the heat. Throw us a question, #Eagles, Super Chat. Ask us anything. Ask Chase about his run streak. Ask me about my beard. Ask Chipper about why he loves the Eagles. Ask Smitty about why he's, an absolute stud and why he can take down beer bongs in no time. It's incredible. I mean, we can ask us anything. My grass guy is better than Roger from Tommy Velasquez.
That's awesome.
That's good, dude.
What type of grass?
If you know what I mean.
If you know what I mean. So #Eagles or Super Chat. Come on, ask us some questions here. Let's go. Cool Rains, how's the weather in Dallas? I knew you had a massive heat wave. Dude,
Right.
Last week we had 5 days of 100+ degrees. It was hotter than 99% of the world I was reading.
Get this. So on Wednesday, this next Wednesday, the high 107.
No way.
Swear. Low 82, high of 107.
Wow.
Let's go. Can't be scared.
See, I like the heat. Like, I ran last year on the hottest day on record in Dallas history, but, like, it's hot. And I'm used to humidity in the Northeast. Schmidt, you get some humidity up where you're from, right? So, like, that allows you to kind of deal with the dry heat a little bit better. But, Trace, correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like it's been humid and hot this summer. Am I wrong?
It's been brutal. It's been very humid. It's been very hot.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, sometimes it's like, oh, that summer breeze will feel. No, it's just blowing around hot air.
Yeah.
So it just makes it even worse. Like,
Yeah.
it's just brutal. It's just brutal.
What was it? Last week or the week before, my AC kind of like, it didn't totally go out during that heat wave, but there was a part they needed to change and my apartment couldn't get under 80. To sleep in that, it was not very fun.
No.
Tommy Velasquez giving us the EAGLES. Cool Rains, by the way. My cousins from Australia were in town a couple of weeks ago. We went to a Phillies game in Philly, and I was able to see them for the first time in years. And then I guess my second cousins, their kids, they have 2 each. 2 of my cousins have 2 each. I was able to meet 3 of the 4 for the first time, and it was a blast. And I missed that Aussie accent for sure. I was actually looking at some flights from Dallas to Australia because Dallas is starting to fly direct to Australia. And there are actually some pretty good deals for like March of next year for like $700, $800. And I was like, should I do it? Very, very tempting. The only thing is I'd have to go for like 2 to 3 weeks because flying takes a whole day. And then Australia is already 14 hours ahead. So on the way there, it's basically like you're losing 2 days pretty much. Maximus said the heat in Memphis is insane. Yeah, Memphis is hot as well, the humidity. Jacob, I'm in Seattle right now. It's like 87 all week. Literally nowhere has AC. Dang, man. Shabaka, the Eagles are going to take control of the NFL this year. I hope so.
Well, since people are shouting out where they're watching from, where are you guys hanging out? Let us know.
Where's Chipper? We just sent out a call.
Everyone type Chip in the comment section to summon Chipper. It's starting to seem like he might be a little scared to take down this beer bong. There's some
Is Chip scared?
Is he banged up?
He sounds like he's struggling.
Sounds like he's banged up.
Hashtag chit chat.
Xavier, do you have a GoPro? I used to have a GoPro, but I no longer. I used to like shoot and edit all my videos for the TV station I used to work at. I was like on camera, but I did everything behind the scenes as well. I actually really enjoyed it. I like crafting a story. And then I drove from Philly to Los Angeles back in 2014 to spend the summer out there for a study away program for Temple University. And I bought a GoPro then. Unfortunately, my lazy ass at the time, I'm not lazy anymore. I didn't do anything with that footage.
Chipper!
There he is! All right, come on camera here. Do you have another beer bong in you? You have another beer bong? All right.
Damn straight
Chipper's
he
going to
does.
do another beer bong. Where is that beer bong, by the way?
Right there.
Oh, it's right here. All right. So this is Eagles Now. It's our Eagles Now happy hour. Fellow Eagles fan, correct? You're a 76ers fan. I figured that you're an Eagles fan as well. We want to put your Eagles fandom to the test. Do you know the Eagles fight song?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right. So throw this on, and we're all going to do it together. All right? Trace, you as well.
Let's do it.
And I'll like put my mic over here so you can do it into yours, and then we'll do ours.
Cool.
All right?
Fly, Eagles, fly on the road to victory. Fight, Eagles, fight. Score a touchdown, 1, 2, 3. Hit 'em low, hit 'em high, and watch our Eagles fly. Fly, Eagles, fly on the road to victory. E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles!
Let's go. You passed the test. Good stuff right there. And if you have another one in you, this one's actually full if you want to do a Happy Dad. You cool with that? Yeah, Happy Mom. It's like a seltzer. All right. It's easy. It's actually easier than a beer. It's easier than a beer. All right. All right, everybody type Chip
Chip.
in the chat.
Chip.
Not Chip Kelly.
Chip. Chip.
Chip. Not
Chip.
to be confused with Chip Kelly. All right, let's get it.
Let's go, Birds!
Go Birds!
Chuck, 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 Chuck.
Chuck.
Yeah!
Yeah. That's the
Chip.
chip chug right there. Good shit, brother. Appreciate you.
So I just got word from Smitty. He said if we get another 50, I think we all 4 of us have to do a race.
How are we going to do that with 2 beer bongs?
Beer bong, shotgun, beer bong, freedom funnel.
That's another one for you. It's up
If
to
we
you.
get another 50, we can get a foursome
one
going.
more. All right. So
We get a foursome going.
another 50. We'll do a 2-way beer bong race and a 2-way shotgun race. Wow. So that's what we'll do for another 50. And here's the deal. 2 minutes. 2 minutes to do that. 2 minutes to do that. We'll put the 2-minute Super Chat shot clock on. By the way, we got the Liberty Bell out. Appreciate everybody sending in those donations today. You love to see it. Not a lot going on July 6th on the NFL calendar, but we're still having fun here on the show. So 2-minute Super Chat shot clock to get another 50 in. If we don't, we'll sign off. All good. And we'll catch you tomorrow here on Eagles. Now, if we get it, 2-way beer bong race, 2-way shotgun race between the 4 of us as we pat together like sardines here on the camera. So 30 seconds in. 30 seconds in. We'll see what we can do. Dennis Design said he passed the test.
There you go.
Nyron, Cool Rains, all typing Chip. Maximus typing Chip. Tommy typing Chip.
We could burn an Eagles jersey,
Tommy Velasquez, burn something.
Why don't
Can't
we burn
do that on camera?
We could burn a Cowboys jersey.
Yeah, we're not going to burn this Romeo jersey. Shout out Romeo. $500 Venmo. We got him his own customized jersey here. Shabaka, Fly Eagles Fly this year. Let's bring that trophy home to Philly. If that happens, going to the parade, no doubt. And we'll have some epic content from the parade. That's one of the reasons I was disappointed that the Eagles lost, because if they won, Trace and I would have gone to the parade, and we would have been like film crew on the streets, putting together a fucking documentary.
It would have been literally the greatest content ever.
135 and counting, now
Oh,
up to
no.
140.
Oh, no.
If we get another 50, four-way race. If not, we sign off, we call it a day. Here we go.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
We'll give you about a 20-second delay for those of you watching on delay. And if not, we're going to call it a day here on Eagles Now. Card declined, sorry, from Maximus. All good, Brody. Card declined. That's funny. You don't have to send in a super chat. Oh, shit. Hold up. What's this? DeJounte Murray. Extension. Okay. Nice. All right. We're going to sign off. Thanks to everybody who watched today. It was a blast. $100 in donations and a lot of great content that we gave the audience here. So thanks for tuning in. Content still to come over the next couple of days because that's what we do. We're built different here on Eagles Now. Andrew Latchford, love the show and the content. Keep it going strong. Watching down in Tampa, boys. Go Birds. Thank you so much for that compliment. Go Birds. And we'll catch you next time. Peace.